You like that, old man? You want a piece of me?
Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Good morning, Vietnam! I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
You do. You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
What's up, film fans? Welcome to episode 277. Welcome to our favorite holiday movies, and welcome to a new episode of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. I am your host, Juan. I am joined by the cast and crew, Santa's Little Helpers, Zach.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Craig.
Buenos dias.
Edward.
Oh, please don't die.
Hey, how's it going?
We are here. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. We were just a few days away from the new year. Counting down the hours, counting down the days. 2023 is officially over. We're in our last episode, guys, and what better way to end it than with a top 5 plus 5? The same way we ended it last year with our top 5 plus 5 Denzel Washington movies. So this year, we're talking our favorite holiday / Christmas movies. But speaking of Christmas weeks, guys, Zach, we'll start with you. How was your week? You have a good week?
Yeah, it's been a good week. It's just rolling fast, as we like to say. So you know how it is.
Rolling fast, as long as you're not rolling a blunt, Zach.
I was going to say, it sounds like Ed rolling fast. That's crazy.
Hey, roll them, smoke them, light them.
Edward usually rolls that Burger King wrappers.
Roll that shit, light that shit, pass that shit.
That's where he's at right now, folks. If you really want to know,
He looks like he's in a test tube. All these lights going in and out.
Oh, I'm with Godzilla. That's all. You know, in that one tunnel from time to the rest there or whatever.
Godzilla. Craig, what about you? You have a good week?
For the most part, yeah. I had a pretty good week.
Ed, other than being on the go, how was your week? Did you have a good week?
Bro, it's been decent. A little different on my days off and all that, so I get to work the weekend, but can't cry about it too much. Got some stuff done and things paid, but yeah.
You know, if Santa Claus has to work the weekends, you're no better.
Oh, I didn't say I'm better. Just said my stuff switched. That's all.
Switched?
Yeah. Usually off. I know, right?
Like Nintendo Switch?
Yeah.
I wish.
You know,
I didn't even get one of those.
We're trying to keep this, holiday festival episode, but making you work on the weekends, those humbug bastards.
Scrooges, man. Scrooges.
you had to pick your words carefully, didn't you?
That I did. A look back, though, guys, if you want to go back and listen to what we talked about last week, we talked all about Sound of Freedom. Me and Zach had a wonderful in-depth conversation all about Sound of Freedom. Go back and dig into that episode wherever you listen to podcasts. Anchor, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify. Right here on Emaswa YouTube channel, you can go back and watch Zach and me talk about it. You can also hit us up on the social media, facebook.com/the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. The Instagram is all one word, the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. X is at Cine-Men405. And then the email, which we'll get into the email bag today for a little bit. You can email us at cinemen921@thegmail.com. But guys, let's not get people waiting. Let's dig into the list. If you guys have never joined us for one of these episodes, we love putting together lists. Just like they did back in the day. We put together a nice Christmas list, our favorite holiday movies. So we're gonna go through. I don't know if anybody has any honorable mentions, but we'll talk some honorable mentions, and then we'll go through 10 to 6. Have a little conversation, a little sticky in between, and then we'll finish it up with 5 through 1.
You know what we should have done?
What should we have done?
Did our 5 best and our 5 worst, and did it the naughty and nice list.
I sent that out a few weeks ago, and I was
maybe that's why it's like kind of embedded in my head, and I was like, "Oh, that's a good idea," but it's already thought of.
Yeah, I was like, let's do a naughty and nice list, but that shortened it up though, Craig. I was going to do 10 worst and 10 best. That really would have been girthy, huh? But I mean it. Zach had the great idea, so I went ahead and dug out my favorites too. These are the 10 movies that I cannot live without if it comes to Christmas movies. So
I can't show mine; they're bootlegged. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Is that why you're in a dark?
Is that why what?
You're in a dark place right now.
Yeah. This is the moonlight shining on me. I'm just
damn. Zach, it's like Sound of Freedom all over again.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What are you talking about?
And the movie,
if you watch the movie, you understand what he's talking about.
No, I watched the movie. I just don't.
They're in a dark room with. Never mind.
Oh.
The untasteful humor.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. You're talking
Anyway,
about the shipping container?
Shipping container. There you go.
Dexter.
Dexter?
What?
Shipping container.
That's not Christmas.
What the fuck? All right, Ed's off the deep end.
He's already digging into the hash.
That was a few hours ago, bro.
Oh?
Off the El Jefe.
And then we'll get into some recent watches a little bit later, and talk about maybe what's in store for us right around the corner in January. So yeah, Zach, let's start with you. Do you have any honorable mentions? At least maybe a few, 1 or 2.
Yeah, I got 3. I'm just gonna rapid fire through them. Krampus, Surviving Christmas, and then my official honorable mention is The Holiday with Cameron Diaz, Jack Black, Kate Winslet. So you want me to start off with number 10?
Is that really a Christmas list or a Christmas movie?
Yeah, it's like it's a lot. Some of these are going to be like Christmas adjacent, like it's set during Christmas or whatever. So
nice. I only have I was thinking about what kind of honorable mention I was going to put in there. But Craig, what about you? You have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, mine's going to be the new Grinch animated. And The Night Before with Seth Rogen, Anthony Mackie, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, that's funny. That's a funny movie. Ed, do you have any honorable mentions?
I do not.
I am going to say my one and only honorable mention is Four Christmases with Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon. That movie is hilarious. They know what they're doing. They don't want to spend Christmas with families. But
they're forced to.
They're forced to. It's funny. So Zach, let's start with you. Number 10.
Yeah, number 10 is probably going to be on everyone's list somewhere. Top 5, 6 through 10, whatever. Mine came in at number 10. And really, we'll probably talk about it as we each talk about it. Number 10 is the Santa Claus. It was a recent watch a couple weeks ago because I just want to make sure that I didn't miss anything or whatever, because I hadn't seen the original one in forever. To be honest, I like the second one a little bit more because I actually saw it in the theater. I never saw 3. I've heard 3 is really bad. And then Johnny, you said you were watching the Santa Clauses on Disney Plus. How's that been?
It's pretty funny. I mean, season 1 so far has been way more entertaining than season 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're a Santa Claus or a Tim Allen guy though.
Yeah, I'm a Tim Allen guy. I love Tim Allen. He recently got some scrutiny for season 2. One of the actresses that's involved in season 2 came out and said
he was a jackass or whatever.
He's a jackass. He's horrible to work with.
Yeah.
But you know what? If you can put on that sacred Santa suit and you can do the groan, I think you deserve to have a little chip on your shoulder.
The funny thing is, since I did like the binge of Home Improvement, he's essentially Toolman Taylor from Home Improvement and the first Santa Claus. If you want to be honest about it, he's playing that character essentially. Yeah. But the first one has a lot of heart. It's funny, has actually has some good like family drama in it. And when he gets to the North Pole, it feels magical in a certain way. Maybe because it feels so practical and it's all sets and everything. Tim Allen does a great job, obviously, and it just I had to put it number 10. So there you go.
I'm sure we'll all talk about it, so we'll bring something up as we each probably talk about it. Craig, what about you? What's number 10 for you?
Number 10 for me, I kind of quote it all the time. It's probably one of the best movies out there for Christmas. It's going to be Jingle All the Way.
Oh, yeah. Talk to me, brother.
Down. The old Turbo Man.
Ed is so pissed off right now.
It's so bad it's good. It's one of those ones that if it's on TV, you're usually watching it, and you're sitting there and you're cringing at some of these parts, but you still enjoy the watch. So I figured I had to make it on my list, and I figured 10 was a good spot for it. So
nice. It's a fun movie. Number 10 for me, in 1993, he said, "Welcome to Jurassic Park." I was hoping in this movie he would say "Welcome to Macy's," but he didn't. Number 10 for me is the reboot of Miracle on 34th Street, with Richard Attenborough, Elizabeth Perkins. If you want to talk about actors who just play Santa Claus to the T, he is probably one of the perfect Santas to play Santa. Richard Attenborough, if you guys know who I'm talking about, he's the guy who played John Hammond in Jurassic Park. Only one actor has won an Oscar for playing Santa Claus, and I think he should have been one of the ones to win it. But man, it's just so fun. The little girl doesn't believe in Santa. She doesn't believe in Christmas. Her mom is a stiff. And then everything just kind of falls into place. But to me, it's not Christmas unless I see Richard Attenborough just put on his homemade Santa suit, twinkle his little buttons. There's some special scenes in there too when one of the little girls is deaf and she can't communicate with Santa, and he talks to her using sign language and stuff. It's a classic story. If you guys haven't seen the original one, to me the reboot is way better than the original. I grew up on it, so starting off my list is number 10 with Miracle on 34th Street. Ed, what about you? What's number 10 for you?
Man, I'm going to go ahead and put a little heartwarming tale about a snowman in there. Jack Frost,
With Michael Keaton?
Yeah, Michael Keaton. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I just thought that one was nice. It's not one that I'm going to go ahead and watch every year, but it's definitely one that kind of impressed me at the time, and I definitely don't have a different opinion of it. I think it's a very good film, and it's something you can put on, and you and your kid or younger sibling or like whoever can go ahead and enjoy, as well as probably you and your spouse or friend or whatever.
Nice. Man, we got some good number 10s. We all got a different movie to start off number 10. That's pretty cool. Number
9.
Number 9, Zach. What's number 9?
Number 9. I had said at the end of last episode, at the end of Sound of Freedom, that when I was making this list, I was going to include like TV shows and specials and stuff. So I not stuff that I like to as I was watching, I was kind of making up a list. I was like, I want to do something different. So number 9. When I did the watch of the show, I forgot how good these episodes were. I'm going to do the Frasier Christmas episodes. These are some of the funniest episodes that the show made. Especially if you know how Frasier is, that character. He's just like, he thinks Christmas is ridiculous, and his dad is always putting up huge displays in the apartment and everything. And he can be a real Grinch, and it's just Kelsey Grammer plays that character to the T, and it's just some of those are just the funniest episodes in that series. So
Nice.
That'd be my number 9.
Christmas episodes.
Number 9 for me. Technically, not like one of those normal Christmas movies. It is based around Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it's got those lovable creatures that you don't want to get around water, man. Talking about gremlins. Watched it a while back. It's terrible, but I grew up on it and I love it for all the right reasons or all the wrong reasons. It screams nostalgia, and with it happening around Christmas time, it's a good watch. So that's my number 9.
Nice.
And Craig, we know we are not allowed to feed them after midnight. No water. They're just like real kids. Edward, get me a salted caramel while you're there.
He saw the sign.
Hell? Yeah. Oh, I was like, how the hell does? Oh, I'm sorry. Who knows?
Great, awesome.
It might be
camera angles
melted
over
by the
there, Ed.
time.
He's by Dutch Bros for people who aren't watching.
Yeah,
It's a coffee shop.
I was gonna say, yeah, great camera angles, Ed.
I got him on location.
Right.
Reporting live from Dutch Bros.
Reporting live.
Number 9 for me is going to be Scrooged with Bill Murray. Man, he going back to Ghostbusters, Bill Murray always plays a nice, fun, egotistical smartass. So why not put him in the Scrooge character for this Christmas movie? I've never seen it up until maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and ever since then it's a staple. Got to watch it every year. Bill Murray, hilarious. You love to hate him in this movie. There's some dark scenes in this movie, honestly, and some real dark comedy. I think there's talk about suicide. There's talk about all kinds of stuff. It's very, very dark at times. But of course, as we know, the Scrooge story, there's a heartwarming ending. So if you can find it, watch it, stream it. Scrooged is number 9 for me. Edward, number 9 for you, sir.
Number 9, I'm going to go ahead and have the Santa Claus 2 in this one. I do agree with Zach. It to a point is a little better. He has to find a wife in this one and all that good stuff, or else he loses the badge, of Mr. Claus. So, what is it called? The Santa Claus, I think. CLAUSE. You're good to go. But yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with that one.
I think that's why I like the second one a little bit more. Is that it feels like there's stakes involved.
Yeah.
I know the first one, he risked of not seeing his son again, but this one, he could actually lose the power of being Santa Claus.
First one's
Charlie has so many different problems as he's growing up and all that. It's kind of,
Boo-hoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little prick of a teenager, and then he softens up after a while. But
He gets
he's got Santa in this. Scott has finally accepted that his ex-wife, has moved on, and they're accepted all that good family and junk, and it's got some comedy to it. And it's got a lot of good stuff that he has to overcome. So I agree. It's got more stakes in it, different stakes for that matter too. And we don't mean reindeer steaks in that one, folks.
Not medium well.
Medium well.
No, I agree. I think the first one's a little more nostalgic, but the second one has a better plot.
Yep.
That's fair.
Zach, number 8 for you, sir.
Number 8 as a kid, I always gravitated towards. It was funny on this recent watch. It was on TV earlier in the month, and I was like, oh, gotta watch it anyway. So I just went ahead and watched it. I was just like, yep, it still has the same. What'd you say, Craig? The nostalgia of watching it as a kid. Number 8 is going to be Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, animated version from 1964.
Like years old immediately. Like just seeing Rudolph will put you back in your PJs by the tree.
I know. Just like
the old box TV.
Just hold that up, and you're just like, oh damn, that brings up memories. Ironically though, like that company, the Rankin Bass animated company or studio, this is the only one out of all those that I actually like, because the other ones just seem real cheaply made. I don't know if that's like that's not a bash on it. It just I never gravitated towards those like I did Rudolph. Rudolph, I just had the better characters. Cornelius was probably my favorite. Silver and gold. And the only problem with it is that it was higher up on the list. Yeah.
Oh shit.
It was actually higher up on the list, but I forget, like every time they get to like the Misfit toys and you see like the King Lion thing, it just it takes me out of it, honestly. Just that little stretch of it. But other than that, yeah, it's a childhood nostalgia, and it's always on television on CBS every year, and I always like to watch it. So, number 8.
Number 8.
Number 8 for me. Had a hard time placing this one on the list. I'm gonna go with "It's a Wonderful Life." It's one of the better made movies for adults. I kind of went more along the lines of like how I felt watching them as a kid growing up, just because when you watch these movies as a kid, the magic really seems to pop in these movies. So but yeah, It's a Wonderful Life. It's one that we watch every year as a family, with my family. It's one of the kind of base Christmas classics that, if you talk to anybody, it's probably one that they'll bring up when they talk about a Christmas classic. So that's my number 8. It's a Wonderful Life.
Ooh. Some
Getting
good movies to follow.
Getting to the nitty gritty, I see. All right.
Yeah, Die Hard's number 1. Just heads up. No.
Number 8 for me has already been mentioned twice, but number 8 for me is the Santa Claus. I think it's Tim Allen. It's the story of losing his kid. It's like everybody said, it's nostalgia. It's one of the first Christmas movies that like clicked with me when I was younger. But watching it now and watching it as I'm older, dude, the MVP in this movie is and will always be Judge Reinhold.
Yeah, that's true.
He is hilarious. He's nitwitted. He is just like, he's super fun for me in this movie. And the older I get, the more I find Judge Reinhold funny. So Charlie is what it is. I think it was fine to steer away from that character in the third movie. They slowly started taking him out in the second movie. A, he's not that good of a child actor, and B, I think the character just got stale. No wonder he was going down that Jake Lloyd road. You know what I mean? But I thought that Santa Claus was going to be higher on my list, but I like it right there at 8. There's a lot more movies in front of him that is just more memorable for me. I would say to me, the best part of the Santa Claus is the opening up until, they deliver presents and he doesn't want to put on the suit. I feel like once he starts transforming, it's kind of like, it is what it is. But right there at number 8 for me is Santa Claus, the original one with Tim Allen. Ed, what about you? What do you got at number 8?
Number 8, I'm going to go ahead and put Rudolph, kind of follow in Zach's footsteps just a little bit. Yeah, I agree. A lot of nostalgia. Didn't see it until it was on TV, for that matter, of course, because, we're not old enough for that. But, the little, clay animations were pretty cool. Good story, good little plot, and good little meanings in the story, for that matter, as well. So, wholesome movie. So,
Forgot to mention Burl Ives. Can't forget that.
Yeah.
But I mean,
overall, just Good movie.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Had a very shiny nose.
Zach, number 7.
Yeah, number 7. I'll just follow. I'll follow Craig on this one. It's a Wonderful Life. It's a film that I've seen it probably maybe 3 times in its entirety. We actually talked about it as an episode. I think back in 2019, 2020 for Christmas one year. It's one that it's not one that I gravitate towards every year, but it's a solid reminder that it is Christmas on Christmas Eve. Every Christmas Eve on NBC, they show it at 7:00. It's just a yearly tradition. I may not.
It's like the ball drop on New Year's.
Yep. It's like I may not stick with the whole 2 hours and 20 minutes or however it's long. I'll probably stay for the first 30 minutes or an hour, but it's just nice that they still show it. It's probably one of James Stewart's best performances, and it's hysterical that essentially when this came out, this was technically a bomb box office wise, and it's considered a classic, and everyone gravitate towards it towards this time of the year. So that's my number 7.
Nice. Craig, number 7.
Number 7 for me is going to be A Muppet's Christmas.
Oh,
another one of those ones that was just always on in my household growing up. So, of course, it's one that I grew attached to. Very close to the Scrooged kind of story. You got the songs and the characters and everything just really works in this movie. It coexists well. The chemistry's there. The songs work. It's just another really good classic. So that's my number 7.
Man, speaking of childhood classics, number 7 for me, he made it onto the list, is Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy Nights.
It was going to be somewhere. I didn't know where it was, but he was going to be on there.
Should have had it at 8.
I watched it a little bit better than spot 8, but I watched it a few days ago, and man, it's so funny. It's super Adam Sandler. His jokes, even though they're made for like 9-year-olds, and today they'd be super, super offensive. There's some stuff that I was watching and the jokes in this movie that I was like, how did he get away with this? Especially with it being an animated movie.
Technical foul.
And for those of you that are probably wondering, that's what Ed's probably going to look like when he's like 70. His beard's going to be completely white. He's going to have an inch of hair ass.
I'm going to try and hit 45 with that. The white hair.
But again, at the end of the day, it's a wholesome movie. It's about Hanukkah. It's about Christmas. It's about all different kinds of holidays. Then it's got a good meaning at the end. So I don't know if this is streaming on anywhere, but I highly recommend it. It's always good to not only have a feel-good holiday movie, but it's also fun to laugh your ass off. So number 7 for me is Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy Nights. Ed, number 7 for you.
How was your dinner?
Number 7 for me is going to be Polar Express. I actually just watched Polar Express 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
It's one that I don't know, man. It's always a good little fun adventure because the Tom Hanks character of the train, not the conductor but attendant, I guess. He's always kind of wonky and kind of strange, but you see that he's trying to be in good heart and all that good stuff to everybody. There it is.
Polar Express, Ed's number 7. Zach, let's finish off the 10 through 6 before we get into recent watches. What's your number 6?
Number 6, I know is going to be on everyone's list somewhere or another, so I'm just going to go ahead and get it started. Elf, the Will Ferrell classic. I'll be honest with you guys. I saw this in the theater 20 years ago when it came out originally, and had not seen it since. That's not even an exaggeration. It's just one that people gravitated towards it. It was just so overhyped. I was like, what is everyone going on about the movie so much? I mean, it's okay. But then I was like, you know what? Let me just rewatch it. It's on Max right now. And I was like, okay, I get why this is a classic. I get why people love this so much. Will Ferrell,
buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Will Ferrell is hysterical. James Caan is both heartwarming and a bastard at the same time. Zoe Deschanel is awesome. Bob Newhart is hysterical as the narrator in this movie. And it's just, Jon Favreau did an awesome job with this movie. And it still holds up to this day. So that's my number 6.
Number 6. Craig, number 6 for you?
It's crazy that you say a lot of people talked about it. We went and saw it and thought it was terrible.
Oh, really?
And it really grew on us.
The more you watched it
later on towards like the 2010s, we picked it up one year. Just it might have been on TV and we watched it. And we're like, that's actually a really good movie because we all went and saw it as a family. But number 6 for me, kind of following my last movie, Scrooged. Bill Murray, the Scrooge story. Like you said, Johnny, there's a lot of emotional scenes in this movie. There's a lot of heartwarming scenes in this movie. It doesn't force you to, but it like brings you to the realization that it's okay to be good. It's okay to be happy and you were just at Dutch Bros. You can be happy, all right?
It was not for me, sir.
It's one of those movies that you really don't expect it to go the way that it does or how far it goes. And then it kind of brings you back out. And at the end, it really pays off. So that's my number 5.
Number 6.
6. Sorry.
Pick up sticks. Number 6 for me is another heartwarming classic. I'm getting into the ones that I go watch in July if I need to. Home Alone 2, Lost in
July.
New York. Everything about Home Alone 2 is fun. Him getting lost, him going into New York City, the scenes with Tim Curry, the scenes with Rob Schneider. Fantastic. Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern. Something about him just setting up these tracks in the big city. The heartwarming story about the 2 crooks taking money from the children's hospital and him just making sure that none of that stuff happens. Like Home Alone 2 for me is probably like nitty gritty. I know we're going to like the top 5, but this is like legit where they start getting into just 10s for me. I don't know. Kevin McAllister, Macaulay Culkin honestly just also got the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
And he it's good to see where he's going in the right direction because like 10, 15 years ago, boy, nobody wanted to brag about watching Home Alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now, he's got a wife, he's got some kids, and he's doing everything right.
Are we headed
Put some respect on Brenda Song's name, all right?
Yeah, she's not just a wife, bro. Not just a wife.
I think she helped him a lot. Him and the brother. I think both of those, he owes a lot of his success now coming back to himself to those two. Because don't get me wrong, now you're like, dude, that's the kid from Home Alone, compared to 10, 12 years ago. It's just like, that was Macaulay Culkin? You sure? Because now he looks like a grown-up version of himself. That's, and
his little dude that's like 3 years old looks just like him.
Yeah.
So
it's it's one of the good, because so many times you see these child actors just continue down that path.
Yeah.
And they're never able to pull themselves out of it. And it really looks like he's found that footing to keep him out of that place. So
I was about to say, are we headed for a
support
Macaulay
system?
Renaissance?
A what?
Are we headed for a Macaulay Renaissance where he might be in a couple more movies coming up?
I would go see a not even just a Home Alone spinoff, but just something with him in it. I would do that.
I don't see him doing any major motion pictures that'll be like hitting the box office, but I do see him doing some Disney Plus stuff soon.
I wouldn't.
You think?
I think
Plus.
I think
they're going to do that, right?
Everybody's going at once. I can't hear.
weren't they going to do a Home Alone Disney Plus series or remake it or something like that?
They had a remake like a few years ago with a movie, and it was god awful.
No, but I mean, like, kind of bring Macaulay back and do like a requel to the original film or whatever. You think they do that, or it's his kids or whatever?
I'm not sure. Ed, what about you? What were you saying?
I was going to say that I don't think it'd be a bad idea if they came up with him being the parent that accidentally forgets a kid, around that time. And then, kind of that when they're on the plane or whatever, he's like, this is how it happens. Okay. And you don't need to focus around him, but even having him there just for a little bit, like a 10, 15 minutes total, I think would be a cool thing. Or even, him be the neighbor or something like that. If they did a reboot. But
you guys are thinking in the box. You got to think outside the box. You wait.
He's one of the crooks.
You wait 30 more years. He's in an assisted living center.
Oh my God.
And he starts getting like mom flashbacks and he's setting up traps and
Retirement Home Alone.
Yeah.
That's a very different movie.
Retirement Home Alone.
You guys are two in the box in this. We gotta expand.
That sounds like an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh my God.
Oh,
yeah,
shoot.
That's my number 6. It's Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Ed, what about you? What's number 6 for you?
Shit.
Retirement.
Elf. I was about to say I forgot it. Holy crap. Elf, man. I liked it when I first seen it. It's another Will Ferrell thing. So I mean he's mostly himself, just playing a character that's extremely into Christmas. And I mean they even introduce him that he's not an elf, that he just kind of happened here because he crawled into Santa's bag and all that good junk. I actually just watched this last week, so it's one of those ones that I like to watch at least once a year. That's
Something else is yearly that they always bring the movie back for like $5 holiday faves at the movies, and it's just if you didn't get a chance to see it in the theater, you always every year you get a chance to see it. So
it was currently at our drive-in movie theater last Friday, I think, and it was free. Obviously they have concessions. They're going to make their money that way, but line around to the highway, down the highway, like legit everybody wanted to go see it. And you could say because it was a free movie, but it's 20 years old. You can watch it at home, you can watch it anywhere, but people wanted to go have that experience with their kids. And I think that's one of the best things about that movie is a lot of these Christmas movies are timeless. No matter when they were made, you're able to go back and rewatch them with your kids and kind of see their same reactions that you might have had when you were a kid. And I think that's what sets up for a great classic, is being able to have that timeless
generation
effect.
I agree.
Speaking of timeless watches, guys, let's talk about some recent watches and recommendations before we get into the top 5. Craig, we'll start with you. Did you check anything out over the last few weeks, or anything you want to recommend to anybody?
So I watched the Pokemon Mewtwo Returns earlier today. Adley had a fever, so I had to pick her up and bring her home. And so while she slept, I binged Pokemon. I watched the movie we did Wednesday, Sound of Freedom. It hit I watched Sound of Freedom while I was leading up to the podcast. I was good for like 30 minutes, and then Johnny was like, "You want the link?" And I was like, "I can't do this." Like, it just, everything, when he asked me, I was like, "Okay, how am I going to talk about it?" It just kind of hit me, and I was just like, "I can't. It's too soon." I guess I should have probably spaced out the watch, but so Pokemon.
looking back at it though, since we just talked about it, what was it? I mean, like, it's one of those movies that we talked about, and it made so much money when it wasn't supposed to. It had controversy probably when it wasn't supposed to. Movie theaters didn't really want it to be shown, but yet they were making money off of it.
Yeah.
It was one of those movies that was just like a weird setup for 2023.
Yeah, I feel like this entire summer felt kind of that way with a lot of other stuff. There's a lot of conspiracies on why this movie had a lot of issues when it was in theaters. I would assume a movie about child sex trafficking would receive no criticisms or backlash. But we had some. Yeah. And so that kind of makes you question some things. The stories about movie theaters. Granted, I had a issue with the AC when I watched Thor. So, things happen, but it just seemed like there was a larger number of stories coming out around this movie. So that was my initial thought, was just like, it's a movie about pedophilia and child sex trafficking, and there's a lot of backlash on it. Like, yes, the movie wasn't made the greatest. There was a few spots where you could tell the editing was really choppy. Please head out, please. The movie was kind of choppy in some spots, but I felt like for the actors they had, it wasn't bad. It got the point across.
Yeah.
There wasn't any like terrible CGI. Obviously, when the helicopter comes into the city, it's CGI'd, but there wasn't anything noticeably or glaringly bad about the movie. So I don't see how you can really bash it. But yeah, moving on from that. Really, that's just kind of been it.
Me and Ed one year, we sweated our hog asses off watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh.
AMC's AC went down, electricity went down. It was 115 degrees outside.
That's because you went to the deepest, darkest parts of the south side of Oklahoma City.
We did, boy, but a 3-hour movie turned into a 4.5-hour adventure.
Yeah, because you guys had to wait like an hour and a half or something like that for the power to come back on, or
we waited like an hour again.
Yeah. It was a while.
And I was this close to going to see that with you guys. Yeah, and you were texting me as it was happening, and I was like, I'm so lucky that I backed out.
We were sweating that popcorn butter out as we were watching the fucking movie.
They said I need Powerade, dog.
Yeah.
Felt like professional athletes watching that movie.
Yeah. We were baking, brother was baking.
Shaking and baking.
What about anything else, Craig? Just those two?
Yeah, just those two. Really just kind of things have been hectic getting everything ready for the holidays. So getting the tree set up, spending time with them, playing some games here and there. So
wrapping some gifts. You start wrapping any gifts?
Mallory handled all that, which is
good.
A-okay with me, because my wrapping consists of like Whataburger style. You feel me? Just put it around it and tape it up.
Like you're wrapping a sandwich with aluminum foil.
Yeah, just put it in the fridge. It's good to go. They can't see the gift. They don't have to be pretty. They're gonna rip it off anyway.
I don't have that many. I'll go through mine real quick. I watched the Jim Carrey Grinch, the Polar Express, like our friend Eduardo here. The original Miracle on 34th Street, which is still good. And by the way, the actor who won an Oscar for playing Santa, the only actor to do it, was Edmund Gwynn for the 1947 version of Miracle on 34th Street. I probably should not know that, but I watched Sound of Freedom for last week's episode. And then the Santa Claus movie with Dudley Moore. Does anybody remember that 1985 classic? No? Mm-mm. Dudley Moore, John Lithgow's The Rich Toy Maker. No? It's a pretty fun.
John's gonna be like, we're about to talk about it. Just brings it up, puts it up there.
That's really all I got to check out. If I recommend anything, honestly, The Grinch, I believe, is streaming on the Peacock.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Polar Express, I don't know where that's streaming, but go check out Polar Express. But I also want to mention one thing. I didn't mention it last week, which I should have. But a huge thanks to the Homeland in Norman here locally in Oklahoma and Aldi in Yukon helped us raise and donate over $500 for our first ever food drive. Those boxes were available in those grocery stores. And then we were able to feed 4 families the weekend of Thanksgiving on a separate ticket. But yeah, huge thanks. You know, it was something that I just tried to push out there. I didn't think it was going to create anything, but to me, $500 is a lot of food, and it helped out with some people where it needed to help out with. So everybody who helped out, donated, and sent messages, thank you. Those families remained anonymous. Unless you want to email the show, you can. But you guys were helped out, and you know what? I'm like, let's do this again. It makes me want to just do things to help more people out. So a big thank you for everybody for our first food drive. So Ed, what about you? You check out any recent watches or recommendations?
I have one. Yes. And I was extremely excited about it. I've been waiting for it since its announcement like a year and a half or so ago.
No.
Finally came out yesterday, and I watched the entire season yesterday. Netflix has had a thing of going on anime live action, and Yu Yu Hakusho got its turn. And man, I think they did pretty damn good. I would give it an 8 out of 10. Seriously.
That came out already?
Nice.
Yep. Thursday. It's only 5 episodes, but they go in a lot of good depth. CGI isn't perfect, but it's pretty decent. Craig, when you do check it out, there's one guy in there that reminds me very strictly of The Matrix. I think if you know the original series, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. But it's got some good parts. It's got some funny parts. It's got all of the fighting and all that good stuff, all the spirit energy mayhem that it usually has in the manga and in the original anime. It's literally one of my first favorites that I ever came across that I just fell in love with, even before Dragon Ball. And Yu Yu Hakusho holds a very, very special place in my heart. So I was wanting them to get it right, and I think they nailed it pretty damn good. I really do. So
I'm surprised that they kept going after that Cowboy Bebop debacle.
That had a few things that looked like it was going to be good, but it happens.
Nice. Zach, what about you? You have anything you want to rapid fire through that you got to check out?
Yeah. Continuing Monarch on Apple TV. Started the new season of Reacher on Amazon Prime. And then finally got to go see Napoleon and checked out Wish as well. So I'd say, go ahead.
Did you just say Reacher's new season?
Reacher. Yep.
Oh.
Was that Dynamite or Bonaparte?
Napoleon,
or Jack Reacher.
Well, okay, guys, which one are we talking about now?
Ed's trying to make a funny about the Napoleon movie. He's trying to say Dynamite or Bonaparte.
John, if you want to click that discontinue button for Ed down there, much appreciated.
You are the weakest link.
Right. No. Napoleon, the Walking Phoenix Ridley Scott movie. Johnny, I wouldn't even call it top 5 Ridley Scott, to be honest. It had good performances, epic battle sequences, but I just kind of felt like, what's the point of this? It was very cutty, like the editing. It was we just moved from like one event to one event and not really have like build up to it. And I think that's like the 4-hour edition that's going to be on Apple TV. I think that's what it's going to fill in the blanks for that.
You feel like he's just trying to create magic in a bottle and try to recreate what he did with Gladiator.
Yeah. My thing is like, wait till next year. Gladiator 2 comes out. So
didn't he have one a few years ago with Adam Driver?
The Last Duel. Yeah. I think that's how I like how Craig feels about The Last Duel. It's just like good performances, great action, but I'm just like, okay.
Was there that much Was there that much fucking though in Napoleon?
Yeah, there's a few scenes. Yep, I'll just say
dang.
that.
Johnny's like, I get to see the Joker.
and and then the Reacher TV show, the Tom Cruise movies, Jack Reacher. It's essentially just like a new telling of it, and season 2 just started, and it's pretty cool so far. So,
Johnny, have you seen Reacher?
Just the Tom Cruise movies.
Okay. I'm sure Zach will agree with me. Take our word of advice. Sit down and watch that first episode, and you'll be hooked.
oh yeah,
Oh, what is it on?
It's,
Amazon Prime.
yeah.
Amazon?
I watched it just because I like I said, might have been a week or so ago. I watched it just because I kind of like the guy that plays Reacher.
Yeah, I like.
And
the
I wanted
actor,
to
yeah.
see what it was about, just because I've seen the Tom Cruise ones. Binged it, watched it in like a day or so.
I'll go a step further. He's better than Tom Cruise, to be honest, as that character.
Yeah.
So.
Nice.
So
I should check it out.
definitely, if there was any recommendation on my end, it's Reacher season 1, and I'm definitely going to check out season 2. And you guys know I don't like TV shows, so
Yeah, that says a lot.
Yeah. Nice. Well, guys, let's get into the thick of things. Let's get into our top 5 favorite holiday movies. Zach, you want to go ahead and start us off again? What's number 5 for you?
Number 5. I'm so glad it was on somebody else's list. It's one that definitely it's on. You can stream it right now on Max. I think it's on Hulu as well. It was one that I needed to rewatch because I just remember it as a kid, but I didn't know if it was going to be A, good, or B, if this was going to be a terrible rewatch overall. Number 5, man, came in for Jack Frost with Michael Keaton. Really, really likes this movie. Has good drama. Michael Keaton is awesome in this movie. I don't understand why this has once been forgotten throughout the years.
Yep.
Came out in 1998. Just overall, like, it's a fun movie. It's really fun. I will say that the CGI for the snowman is like, but it's 1998, so we'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
Not to get confused with the horror movie that came out.
There is a horror movie.
I was just gonna stack on top of that, and it's like I always forget about that movie because of that movie.
Yeah, the good outweighs the bad one. So, but I'm glad, Ed, you had it in your list as well. It's a childhood favorite, and the rewatch was real fun. So that's number 5.
Craig, number 5.
Number 5 for me, Home Alone. Just like old Kevin there, I wasn't left at home, but I was left at school once. So I know all about being forgotten. My mom hates when I bring it up. But no, just a little.
I feel you, dog.
Setting up your house to kind of, keep the home invaders at bay. It's one of the most simplest concepts that you could have came up with, but nailed it. And I think Macaulay Culkin's character in that movie for such a young age really, he's one of the only people you see on screen for a majority of that film, and for a 5 or 6-year-old at the time, I would assume to be the main focal point of a movie that is now, it's been a classic, but is a Christmas classic. I think that says a lot about how well it was directed, and the supporting cast around everything else, around him in the parts that they were in. So, Home Alone's my number 5.
There were 6 of those damn movies. There's like 3 feature
We
films.
do not consider.
past
There's
2.
There's only 2.
John Hughes was a screenwriter on that. I didn't know that.
That's
yeah,
like
he wrote them.
Wow.
I'm surprised they didn't do like a John Cena Home Alone. It seems like he always carries on the torch for movies that are past their prime. Beforehand, he's gotten out of that realm, but
Yeah, Home Alone 1 and 2.
You watch tomorrow. They're going to announce John Cena Home Alone, and
you can't see me.
Yeah. Home Alone 1 and 2 has John Hughes DNA all over it. It's special. Number 5 for me is the 1951 version of A Christmas Carol. Alistair Sims. It's the first or second version of A Christmas Carol that I've watched. It's from 1951, so if you're not into classic movies, it may be a little hard to watch. But he plays the perfect Scrooge. You're kind of frightened, from him at first. You see how bitter he is. It's one of the only movies that shows, I think, Scrooge sitting down eating at either like a soup kitchen or a restaurant where he's all by himself. He asks for more bread, and they're like 25 cents, and he's like, no more bread then. So you see how cheap and penny pinching he really is. I really wanted to fit the Jim Carrey animated version in here, but to me, I just couldn't fit it over this one. To me, this one is the top-notch version of Scrooge. So
yep.
You can watch it for free on Plex, but that's number 5 for me. So, Ed, what's number 5 for you?
You know what? It's cool. I got you, bro. A Christmas Carol, 2009, Jim Carrey, in the clutch. Simple as that.
How dare you?
It's just one of my favorites. That's all it is, I think he did a great job. Yeah, man, it's just a timeless, story, but animated this time, and yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing you can really take and say of it. It's just an old tale. That's really it. But it's one of my favorites. I've always liked it. Yeah.
Same director, same creative team that did Polar Express as well. So,
tale as old as time.
Boom.
So far, nobody else has Beauty and the Beast Christmas coming up.
That's my number 4. No, it's not.
Zach, what is your number 4?
Number 4 is the newest film out of all my films. And I don't know, I'm probably jumping ahead. Maybe it's just the theater experience. Number 4 is The Holdovers. We talked about it a couple weeks ago for the Golden Globe nominations. Essentially, it's about a curmudgeonly, cranky New England teacher who has to babysit these kids who, at a prep school, who on Christmas break everyone goes home except for the select few that are called the holdovers. And essentially, it focuses on 3 characters: Paul Giamatti's character, Dominic Sessa, who plays Angus, who's the main kid, and then Davine Joy Randolph, who plays Mary. It's such a great film. I get why it's being nominated for everything. So the drama is a powerful. Each one of these, you care about each one of these characters and their own traumas that they're going through, and it's one of those things where, like, you take 3 characters who don't want to be in a situation and they learn life lessons from each other. Great performances. It's very funny. It's a black comedy, honestly. Like, you're cracking up on just different parts of it. I would say you could still see it in the theater, but I think the theatrical run's already over. Unfortunately, it got sandwiched in between the Marvels and the Hunger Games, so no one went and saw it. But you can rent it for $20 on iTunes and Apple and Vudu and all that. So highly, highly recommend it. And I think, 2 or 3 years from now, I think The Holdovers will be on a lot more people's list for Christmas movies. So that's my number 4.
Craig?
My number 4 is the old classic, The Grinch, animated. It's as a kid, you kind of gravitate towards the animated movies a little bit more. And so the Grinch being a part of Dr. Seuss, and in kindergarten, pre-K, first, whatever, you have those Dr. Seuss books. You're familiar with the characters. You're familiar with the art style. I think it's one of those movies that, as a kid, it's just kind of like ingrained into your DNA by that point. That it's something that you should be watching just because you see all those Dr. Seuss books kind of in the school. So, the narrating, the story, the scores, the music, everything. It's just it's a perfect animated Christmas movie. So
it is a classic. Number 4 for me. I already talked about the second one. Number 4 for me is the original Home Alone, 1990. We've all already talked about it. This one is funny. He's defending his house instead of being lost in the city. Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern are better in the original one. Daniel Stern doesn't get a lot of credit either. Everybody always looks at McAllister or Macaulay Culkin and the mom or Joe Pesci, but Daniel Stern is hilarious in this movie. I always go back to the spider scene where they put the spider on his face and he just screams. So that's my number 4, Home Alone, 1990. Ed, number 4 for you? Oh, Zach, what were you about to say?
No, I don't know why. It's just one of those things. Like every time I think of Home Alone, I don't think of Joe Pesci. Like I know he's in it, but just there's a part of me every time I see him in the movie, it's like, oh yeah, I forget he's in that.
All right. So number 4 for me, I'm going to go ahead and bring up and tail Craig on this one. The Grinch. You can't go wrong with this one. It was practically like straight out of the gate classic. Simple as that, man. The simplicity of like doing mostly props as well as just makeup, costume, and stuff like that was awesome.
You're talking about the Jim Carrey one?
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
I did animated, so I don't know if you.
Yeah, Craig did the animated one from the 60s. You're doing the Jim Carrey one.
Oh, shit. My bad. Sorry about that.
We're talking about 2 different versions, so that's good.
It's the same thing. Just
it is.
One's animated, Jim Carrey's animated. So I mean, they're kind of.
It's like halfway there. It's a halfway. But the slight backstory was kind of funny. To where the Grinch was in society and he was a part of it, and then society drove him out just because of some, stupid kid prank joke, whatever have you. But simple as that. So it didn't go great for the mayor, but he didn't get killed, so that's a good thing. But yeah, number 4 for me is The Grinch, Jim Carrey. Yeah.
Zach, number 3.
Number 3 is definitely one that it was just kind of like a new discovery for me. I'd watched it the first time back in 2019 as a tradition. I just try to watch like a new Christmas movie. On this rewatch, I loved it. It jumped from like a maybe all the way to number 3 in this situation. And luckily, I feel like I'm like a champion of this movie before everyone else figured out about it. Number 3 is Feast of the Seven Fishes. It's essentially based off a graphic novel, and this is like a real Italian tradition where families get together and they cook a whole bunch of like seafood. And essentially, this is also based off a graphic novel. And the cool thing about it is the maker of the graphic novel got to make the movie. It's so well done, great acting. It's funny. You follow 2 characters it's essentially like you follow the family, but you also follow 2 characters who they go on like a blind date, and you follow them throughout the couple days before Christmas. And I guarantee you watch this movie, you're gonna find someone like, oh, I know someone like that in real life. It's just that like comedic, quirky family that you just know and you want to be a part of. And the cool thing about it is this year it was just added on Netflix, so it's getting a much more wider expansion, so people can go check it out and just watch it. It's fun, it's awesome, and made my number 3. So
nice. Craig,
When I started this podcast, I told you guys I would always try to get it in the list. And there was a way.
He found out.
Because at the end of Toy Story,
oh no. Oh yeah, that's
they
true.
are having Christmas.
Yeah. And damn it, I'm doing it.
I got the Mrs. Potato Head and the dog. So
My boy.
I told you guys I would always try to find a way to get it in there, and I did. So Toy Story is my number 3.
That's funny.
We all know why, but yeah, it's my number 3.
Like enough said.
There's a kiss under mistletoe too, right?
I mean, it's a movie about toys. There's a Christmas scene in it. Christmas enough for me. You feel me?
There you go. Number 3 for me, it was already mentioned, but It's a Wonderful Life. It's not only a near perfect Christmas movie, but it's a near perfect movie. It's one of those ones like I said, I could watch in like July. I can have fun with it. The meaning is deep. It's literally what a lot of people are going through almost every year in and year out. Good old George Bailey. I don't think there's enough I can say about this movie. Go find it. Go check it out. It's an NBC Universal movie, so I don't know if it's on the if it's on the Peacock, but go check it out. It's always a 10 for me. It's a Wonderful Life. Number 3. Ed, what's number 3 for you?
Number 3 for me, Craig, you found a way to go ahead and get one of your biggest and best movies on. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to forget. I'm always going to find a way to have this one on a good list. Turn it. Okay. I'm sorry. The big HP with the Sorcerer's Stone. You know what? That's going to be my number 3.
I'll let it.
Harry Potter with the Sorcerer's Stone. I don't care.
A lot of people like to watch Harry Potter at Christmas time, so
It does feel very, very Christmassy. So
yeah.
Happy Christmas, Ron.
Happy Christmas, Harry. You got a present. Little boy wasn't even used to that. 11-year-olds shouldn't be deprived like that. That was horrible. If they say Die Hard can be a Christmas movie, I say Harry Potter is a Christmas movie. Suck on that one.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Edward told you to suck on that one.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. And you guys can send hate mail at CINEME921@gmail.com.
Jeez.
Zach, number 2.
Number 2. It needs no explanation. Charlie Brown Christmas. What else there is to say? It pisses me off that they took it off network television, but money talks.
You own it. Why does it piss you off?
Because it's just it's like it's almost, when I was growing up, that was a tradition. You always watched Charlie Brown on television. But like you said, I do have the Blu-ray, so I stopped that in its tracks. So but it's
Bringing
one
us right back to physical media that we talked about last week.
Exactly. And the funny thing is,
wasn't it little Lionel going hard on the piano?
I don't know, but anyway, and the crazy thing is like when they announced that Apple TV bought the Peanuts licensing, these Blu-rays, the DVDs, they were gone off the shelves. So now I think you can get them, but I think if you have Apple TV, you can actually watch them for free every year, all the holiday specials. So, but yeah, Charlie Brown Christmas must watch. So number 2.
I'm surprised they didn't come. They got Halloween, Thanksgiving. I'm surprised they didn't Valentine's. I'm surprised they didn't come.
They do. They do. They just don't. Yeah.
Hold on a second. I said I know they have a Valentine's Day one. I was saying I'm surprised they didn't come out with a Charlie.
Look at the back
Brown,
of the box.
They don't have a Charlie Brown New Year's Eve.
Where they're getting turned.
Getting turned.
Little Linus on the piano, like
getting crunked on some peanuts.
Oh my god.
What's her name? Little Susie? Surprised he's not trying to. The one that's
Lucy?
always Lucy. There you go.
Anyways,
if you want to do a live action Charlie Brown, Johnny, please. It might be R-rated, but go ahead, please.
What about you, Craig? What's number 2 for you?
Number 2 for me is going to be Jim Carrey's Grinch. I was in kindergarten when it came out, and I remember a teacher or two teachers talking about it, and I was just like, live action Grinch? What are we doing here? And as we got older, it has cemented itself as one of the classics, just like my number one when I bring it up. But it's these movies, they tend to either be decent at the box office or flop, which I'm saying it from what I think. I don't know Grinch's exact box office numbers, but to me, it felt like it didn't get the recognition it deserved to be where it's at now to be considered a classic. So Grinch is my number 2, Jim Carrey.
Oof. I just watched that the other day. It still holds up. It's fun. Do you remember the RC cars of the Grinch sitting on the tiny car?
I had that.
Where is it at, Zach? Because those things are like worth hundreds of dollars now.
I need to find it, but I did have
Blame
that
our
little RC toy.
parents.
Yeah.
It was a Toys R Us exclusive, I think.
Exclusive. Yep.
Yeah. You know what? My number 2. These can flip flop, but it's. I'm having a stroke. They're so good. 1989 gave us the gift that keeps on giving all year round. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Shitter's full.
The shitter is full, man, and it's like. You get a Christmas story about a man being surrounded by family he don't want to be surrounded by. He does whatever he can to make his kids happy. All this, him and the wife are trying to, get a little pee-pee action going on, but you can't because all the in-laws are around. It's just a fun movie. So I highly recommend it. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is my number 2.
I will say that movie did not make my list, but it is growing on me. I just watched it recently, probably 2 years ago. It was fun. I didn't watch it throughout the year, but it probably once I revisit it this year, now that I'm getting older and I probably feel just like them, it'll probably crack my list. But
all right,
Zach, number 1.
Edward,
No, Ed,
number
Ed,
2.
Ed, what's your number 2?
Ed's sorry, Ed. I'm
so
okay.
excited to get to number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2 for me is Star Studded.
I thought you were
It's
Star Wars.
It is Star Studded. It is forgotten about, and honestly, it is a classic. I don't care what anybody says. Juan and Zach, y'all might be mad at me. Craig, I don't think so. We'll see. This has Terry Crews, Cat Williams, Mike Epps.
Soul Plane?
You're close, but no.
Friday after next?
Friday after next, my guy. Man.
It's been quoted to me so many times. I've pretty much seen the movie, but I don't know when that is based. So
it's literally Christmas Eve is when they get robbed, and like Christmas is the party. So because the neighborhood Santa crackhead or whatever is the one that jacked them and all that. But nah, man, I think it's a hilarious movie. Man, hilarious. It's just great. Honestly, on top of that, you've got, like I said, a star-studded cast. You've got a ton of people that are just badass in this movie. I mean, to me, it's one of those classics that you just can't go wrong with. I just love it, man. So, yeah, plus it's got the big Ice Cube in it. So, yeah, you're going to get a bomb-ass, like, track to every damn scene. So,
Zach, what is your all-time favorite Christmas movie that you at least have to watch during the season?
Number one. It's been mentioned throughout our list, but it's a go-to. I loved it as a kid, love it as an adult. Can't wait if I ever have kids. I can't wait to show it to them. Number 1 is The Grinch, and I'll just go ahead and group all 3 of them in there: the Jim Carrey one, the 1966 classic cartoon, and the Benedict Cumberbatch one from Illumination is starting to grow on me a little bit. It gets better a little bit every time I watch it. But Craig, when we were talking about AMC when you went and saw Lord of the Rings, I distinctly remember we had I think I was in 2nd or 3rd grade. We had like our Christmas holiday party, and then my mom took me to Quail Springs to see the Jim Carrey Grinch. It's just a staple in my brain, and love it. Ron Howard knocked out of the park with this film. Jim Carrey is incredible. It does feel like a Tim Burton movie now that I'm thinking about it. Honestly, he probably could have directed it, but it's a classic, and it's not Christmas without it. And I remember, Johnny, when you got this 4K Steelbook, I was like, what the, for the 20th anniversary, I hauled my ass to Best Buy to get it, just like you did. So
I'm still pissed that there was no extra special features.
No, and I don't understand. Like, just have like Jim Carrey do like a reflection of him playing the Grinch. That would have been cool.
He says that he had to go through therapy after the makeup transformations, because he said that it felt like he was getting like tortured.
Yeah, because it was yak hair that they put all over.
He's got to go through therapy after every fucking movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Except Sonic.
Yeah, it's like he didn't get paid millions of dollars. Cry me a fucking river.
Hey, yo.
So yeah, that's
hey,
my
yo.
is, Good Grinch.
I don't even know if that was PG.
What blows my mind is, I only know Ron Howard. Like, I know Ron Howard the name.
Yeah.
But when I think of Ron Howard the face, I think of him as the dad in Pitch Perfect. Like, that's because he's just the dad. And
and to answer your question, Craig, box office wise, it made $345 million and stayed number 1 4 weeks in a row in the United States.
So don't listen to me. I was too young.
Craig, what's your number 1?
Number 1 for me, I think it was Zach's number 10 or 9. Will Ferrell's Elf.
Oh yeah.
It's got everything. It's got the people who don't want to believe, the reason why you need to believe, and then you have the whole scene where they're singing and Will Ferrell transforms the already Christmas store into even more Christmas, and it's just got everything. So I think this is one of Will Ferrell's best. I know he's been in a lot of good ones, but I think this is his best. It's the whole
angry elves.
Yeah. Which every time he shows up on screen, I'm like, I can't believe he's in this movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Peter.
But no, it's the cast is great. There's just not much more you want out of a good time Christmas movie. There's nothing in this movie that really brings you down, like the Scrooge. The Scrooge has some scenes where you're kind of like, I don't want to watch this anymore. This is just a good, funny movie throughout. There's funny scenes, there's happy scenes. It's everything. Everything about it is a home run.
Yep.
Candy canes, candy corns,
pancakes with
maple syrup.
Yeah.
That fool had a flask of maple syrup, basically.
I was going to say, those are the only scenes that kind of get me down, Craig, and depressed, is how much of a sweet tooth he has. And, for diabetics, you're like, oh, you lucky son bitch. I would be losing a toe right now if I had to.
Diabetes.
Number 1 for me, I've talked about it. It's number 1 for me all across the board. The opening of our podcast has the line in it. You shot your eye out, kid. Number 1 is A Christmas Story.
That is so funny. One of y'all, I think, Johnny, you had Jingle All the Way, and Ed was like, ooh. And now, Johnny, you have Christmas Story. And Craig's like, nope.
Bro,
I got Jingle All the Way.
It is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Do you guys remember the year I gave you all a copy of A Christmas Story?
Yes.
I think I left it there on purpose.
Oh, my God.
You probably have one back in there somewhere.
Craig opened the gift and was like, I ain't taking this, and threw it in the closet.
You should have gave me coal. What the hell?
At least I would be able to use it for something.
For those of you that haven't heard, a few years ago when we didn't do the episode, did we? No, we didn't. I don't know what it was. We were doing a holiday episode. We were doing a holiday episode, and we did a Christmas exchange, and I thought it would be funny. I got all three of them, everybody on this screen. I got them all a Blu-ray copy of A Christmas Story. And it was funny. It created a nice little moment. If you didn't like it for the moment, at least you got a free movie out of it.
Craig's like, I don't even want to talk about it. It's got up and left.
Edward's like, what movie? I didn't get shit.
You know what? You should have done that, Johnny. You should have gave Craig A Christmas Story. You should have gave Ed a Jingle All the Way as their presents.
I have it here somewhere. It's not in my little case over here, but it's probably in our living room.
Don't lie.
Him, Die Hard.
You're right. I took it to vintage stock. I was like, give me the credit, a quarter. I don't care. No, I have it here somewhere.
It's like burnt up. It's burnt up in the backyard somewhere as part of the.
I had to stay warm one year.
This movie just reminds me of childhood. Like the movie, on TNT, it literally plays from Christmas Eve day until the 26th,
which is why it's terrible.
It was always on the TV. It reminded me of Christmas at my house growing up. My dad not waiting for the ham or the turkey to get out of the oven, always picking at it, making fucking belly noises, which is what the dad does in this movie. Me cussing for the first time in front of my dad and my mom, and they, putting soap or something in my mouth. Me always asking for one certain gift and then not getting it or worried about not getting it. Christmas bullies. I didn't have so all this wrapped up into one. And then, like I said, the movie constantly being on when I was growing up always brings back memories. So it's a nostalgia hit for me. It's funny. If you don't like it, check it out. It's on TNT Christmas Eve.
You know what's funny is my entire family despises that movie. And Chaslin, Matt's wife, it's like her favorite movie of all time. And so she's like, we have to watch it today. It's Christmas Eve.
Smart woman.
And so it's on TV, and I'm just over there like, NBA's on right now. What are we doing?
Craig's like, I gotta be watching sports right now.
But yeah, that's number one for me. Ed, go ahead and finish us all off. What's your number one? We can't hear you.
You're mute.
You're muted. Or you're stupid, either one.
Okay. It's doing stupid.
Okay, we hear you. Nah. You were muted. You were muted.
I know. I know. So we have The Grinch, Elf, and A Christmas Story. Y'all probably are going to think I'm a dumbass for this one anyways. Most people are going to be like, that's it? My all-time favorite Christmas movie?
Change what I think of you.
At least we know we're real. It's always been and has been since this movie came out, but Krampus.
Oh, Krampus.
Dude, this thing.
Well, and that's it for Ed. See you next year, guys.
He's frozen.
Take a picture of him. You look like Santa Claus right now.
Dude, what?
You froze on us.
Froze.
Oh, yeah. I got back on Wi-Fi. I just can't say enough good stuff about it, man. Personally, I love it. The hilarity that ensues, the horror, the ending, all of it, man. Like, just the whole movie is, to me, joyful. So, yeah.
Did anybody say the Polar Express?
I did. Number 6 or number 7.
Okay.
Another Easter egg is I'm the only one who did not have Elf in my list.
Oh,
On top of that, I think you're the only one who had A Christmas Story.
Duh!
And only one person had Jingle All the Way, so.
And only one motherfucker had Krampus and Friday After Next.
Look at Ed. You know what that means? Ed is cultured.
Hey, and Harry Potter. Thank you. And Harry Potter.
Ed's cultured. That's what that is.
Try to be.
I'm the only one who had a Jewish movie in there.
Don't bring that.
No, I'm not gonna.
We
go
don't
there.
touch
Never
that.
mind.
I'm not touching that conversation.
I had a joke, but I'm not gonna say it. So
I have one
Hey,
too.
look,
Can I
man.
go?
No.
That movie is amazing. It is awesome. It really is.
You know what, Ed? You make me want to go. I'm going to go watch Krampus as soon as I get
I
off the
thought you were
street.
going to say Friday. I'm going to go watch
Hell
Friday
yeah.
right now.
Hell yeah.
Let's dig into some of the emails, guys. What a top 5. That was fun. We do this every year, you know, at least a few times. The next time we're going to do it is in March. We're going to talk about our top 5 plus 5 movies of 2023. But so yeah, before we get going to emails, let's just dig into some emails real quick. We'll start with Stephanie. Stephanie says Oppenheimer was good, but didn't need to be 3 hours. It was 2.5 hours too long and way overhyped. 6 stars. Uh-oh.
Just hurt my heart, Stephanie. It's okay.
Daddy said.
Barry says Candyman 2021 is overrated. As a whole, it's got too many political statements. Not a good horror movie. 5 stars.
Johnny, did you just pick up all the negative emails? Is that what we're doing today?
I did not, sir. Henry says his top 5 Christmas movies are in this order: Christmas Vacation, Krampus, Home Alone, Polar Express, and his number 1 is the original Black Christmas. Sarah 97 says, I love your Scarface episode. Haven't seen it in a long time, and your episode made me want to go watch it. Keep it up. 10 stars. Loved all the Scarface different voices. Oh yeah, we all try to do our little.
Yeah.
Tony Montana. I think we're pretty good. We could have went a little more in depth, but I think we did all right.
We did.
Craig, did you have to fall out of that episode? Right, you had to, something came up and you had to
Yes. Yes.
What was your grade for that? Your star review? I gave it a 7.
He had to go pack up the yo-yo.
Yeah, the yayo.
I gave it a 7. Johnny gave it, I think, a 9 or a 10, one of the two.
Yeah. Man, I like it. It was a movie that I really enjoyed years ago, but with that rewatch, it was like,
it's fun.
It's all right. I don't like it's. I think all the lines and the quotes and just how wild the movie was for its time really gravitated to people. But to me, that rewatch, just on my couch, not really wanting to, get going. It was just like, it felt like it was too much at the time. So probably like a 7.5.
So that's still not bad. You're just gooding, man. You're just gooding.
I just feel like it was too much at times.
Wouldn't be the first time a Colombian gave you too much. You know what I mean? It gave you too much, Craig.
Nobody's ever given me too much. I'll tell you that right
now. Sam G69 says my top 5 Christmas movies are in this order. Number 5, Die Hard. Number 4, Christmas Story. Number 3, Fred Claus. Number 2, Elf. Number 1, Krampus. Look at that.
Fred Claus is forgotten.
Fred Claus is forgotten. Ivan says, have you guys ever thought about diving back into the Terminator franchise?
Ooh.
We only talk about Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Did Terminator Genesis? Didn't y'all do that one?
No, we went and saw it, but we didn't do
Okay, you went and saw it, yeah.
Or Dark Fate. We saw Dark Fate. We didn't see Genesis.
Yeah, there's still Genesis, Dark Fate, 3,
and Terminator.
Salvation.
Oh, Salvation. Yeah.
And then the original, man. Yeah, there's a lot. That's a nice email, Ivan. Terminator.
Right.
Come with me if you want to live. Craig does it best though. Craig, he's the master.
I'm not doing it though. We gotta do an episode if you want to hear it.
All right. Kevin says this is new. I haven't seen this movie either. Kevin says my favorite Christmas movie is The Christmas Chronicles. Have you guys seen that one?
Is that the Kurt Russell? I think that's the Kurt Russell movie.
Yeah,
on
the
Netflix.
Netflix
That is-
movie.
yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Is Chronicles of Narnia a Christmas movie?
I don't know.
I know it's snowing.
It's
Maybe the first one. Maybe the first one, but not the other ones.
It's like The Day After Tomorrow is a Christmas. No.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
Jessica says Oppenheimer was and is probably my second favorite movie of the year behind Fast X. Both movies are 10 stars. Fast X wasn't bad.
I couldn't finish it. I tried.
I was
It
better
was
than
be-
9.
It was better than 9.
I tried.
Not too
Anybody
shabby.
going to see Aquaman next week?
Oh, man.
If I have money and time.
Ed's not because Amber Heard's in the trailer.
Yeah.
Is she really?
Yeah,
She's in the trailer.
No, she's
Oh, yeah.
not.
Never
no,
mind.
she's not, guys.
No.
Fuck Amber Heard.
I wanted him to get there in the movie and be like, "What is this?"
Right.
Dude, I paid money for this.
You back my $16.
You would too.
God damn, where are you going to paying $16 to go see a movie? Oh, is that for 2 people?
The Dolby.
Sure.
Nathan says my top 5 Christmas movies are in this order: 5, Jingle All the Way; 4, A Muppet's Christmas; 3, Polar Express; 2, Home Alone; and 1, Black Christmas.
Johnny's gonna have to go watch Black Christmas now.
I am. That makes me want to watch it.
I did forget about Black Christmas, actually.
Kennedy says my favorite all-time Christmas movie is It's a Wonderful Life.
A Wonderful Life. Nobody had that one. Or
Yeah,
I
it was my
did. I had
number
it.
3.
What are
Okay.
you talking about?
I had
Everybody.
number
that's
7.
what I was like, hold up.
All that fucking salted caramel from Dutch Bros.
Yeah, brain freeze.
I didn't even have anything from there.
Phil says I couldn't stand Barbie. Took my wife, and it was painful to watch. Barbie gets 4 stars.
All right.
Ooh,
It's now on Max.
he wanted more Will Ferrell.
William says I would love to hear you guys talk some Christmas classic movies. Can't wait to hear your top 5 lists. Well, it's here, William. Go ahead and listen.
Boom.
And we'll go ahead and finish it up with Darren. Darren says, if you could review any other Quentin Tarantino movie, what would it be? Jackie Brown for me.
I'd say The Hateful Eight.
I'll second the Hateful Eight.
And we haven't done a Kill Bill movie either.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Probably a Kill Bill for me. Let me look through real quick.
Those would
I was saying, I don't remember which ones we have done.
Because we've
I know
done
we've
Once
done a
Upon a
few.
Time, we've done Inglourious Bastards.
Yep.
Django.
Did we do Django?
That's almost like
We did Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs, so I don't think we've done Django actually.
Django would be my pick. I'm
I'm gonna leave you guys with this thought. Lego people live in houses made of their own flesh.
okay. Hey, gingerbread people do the same thing, bro. Gingerbread's the same thing.
How dark are we getting today?
I know.
I mean,
Is that our parting thought of 2023?
But that's it, guys. I mean, that's it.
Were these facts that Ed gave you when he was high, or
Not even one high Edward could probably sit there and dwindle upon that stuff, but no. 2023 is in the books. We're completely done. We just talked our top 5 plus 5 holiday movies. This is the final nail in the coffin of the year 2023. On to the next, guys. 2024 should be fun. Thank you, everybody, for the support, the love, the conversations, the emails, the messages. everything you guys send in, social media wise, downloads, everything. I know I appreciate it. I know everybody here appreciates it. What a fantastic holiday season it's been, and I can't wait for January. January brings Whiplash, the 10th anniversary next month, along with Good Will Hunting, Edward Scissorhands, A Good Person, and then The Creator. So those are what we're talking about in January. Everything is still the same. Hit us up on the social medias, and don't forget, have a happy and safe New Year, guys. Do you guys want to add anything to the final episode of 2023?
I'm excited for my Whiplash rewatch. I really enjoyed my first one.
It was cool to have all of us on the final episode of the year. So I know everyone's schedules are busy right now at this time of year, and it was just nice to hang out with you guys for the final episode. So
family,
say it, Ed.
No, man. Enjoy your time with your family. These holidays, sometimes you don't get to see someone next holiday. I know we've all had our fair share of losses, throughout our entire lifetime. So always cherish the ones you have today, not tomorrow, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. So I hope all of you have a good holiday. Hope all of you have a great New Year, New Year's Eve, all that good stuff. My personal is Christmas, so Merry Christmas to those of you. As well as Happy Holidays to the rest.
Happy Hana Kwanzaa, miss.
Everything in between.
Man, all of it. No matter.
Here it is. Have a good New Year's Eve. Yeah.
Hey. Drink responsibly.
Yes.
Get an Uber if you need to.
Or don't drink at all.
Stay home. Yeah, it's
Just
New Year's. It's not. Spend time with family. Chill.
Be safe.
Get that Welch's sparkling wine.
Watch a couple movies. Get some
movies.
You know what? Just have a drink and listen to our show. How about that? And start the new year off right.
We could have a little live karaoke going. You never know.
There you go.
Shit.
Speaking of our shows, it's time to whip out the best of 2023. So next week, guys, we're talking our top 5 favorite episodes that we did the year 2023. Next week, when we talk about Whiplash on another brand new episode and a new year of the Cine-Men movie podcast.